down there. You can't.
Wait for that flag on there till that moment.
Okay, we'll actually be holding the cars over on the far side anyway. The revised starting procedure in the Formula 1 stock cars for 1991 to keep good discipline in the rolling lap is to hold the cars halfway round, just bring all cars to a slight halt and then move them away once again. So the cars will just pull up, the white tops will pull up over on the far side, and once all cars are stationary, we will move them away again to complete the rolling lap and move away into 16 laps of Formula 1 stock car racing. First event of the 1991 British Championship. All appears to be well now. Okay, we've got that halt. We've got them all in nice graded formation, just to ensure that the gaps aren't closed between the different grades on the slow lap rolling start. We move them away once again. Maybe a good moment to warn everybody to keep back behind the safety barriers at all time when racing is in progress. Green flag is down. Formula 1 Heat 1 is underway. Paul Lowe leads them away into the first circuit in car number 410. Paul Pennington in 382 goes wide on that first turn, and 341 has spun out on the top turn before he even got to the start-finish line. The rest of the field are making their way round to complete lap number 1, and Paul Lowe is leading in car number 410 from Gary Maynard second in 151. Then it's Bill McGowan in car number 369. From Paul Pennington in 382. Problems for Paul Harrison in number 2 and Danny Clark in 203 as they get caught up going into the top turn. 203 hasn't got away yet. 487 Jeff Alderson was held up there as well. And here comes the race leader to complete another one. It's 410 from 151. 369 is third. Paul Pennington is fourth in car number 382. Fifth is Shane Doyle in 371. First to the red top to show is Ray Tilsley in car number 85. We've lost David Toulson. He's the first retirement from heat number 1. He's on the centre grid, and 341 hasn't moved from where he came to rest after his spin on the top turn. Gary Maynard in 151 then has the lead from Paul Lowe in 410. Bill McGowan 369, Ray Tilsley in 85, well to the fore in heat 1 Formula 1. But Gary Maynard has a good lead. Very tricky conditions, having to tread a little bit warily in this well-soaked track. And Gary Maynard in 151 leads from 85 Ray Tilsley second. Third is Phil Smith in 109, then it's James Bean in 309. We've lost Bill McGowan in 369. He's on the centre green and Adder running in heat 1. 151, Gary Maynard. Ray Tilsley very close now, second in 85. Third, Phil Smith, 109. Fourth, James Bean in 309. Then it's Peter Bolling in 33. Bert Finnegan moving up in 55. Ahead of Paul Lowe in 410. Then it's Rob Cowley in 73. Paul Harrison in number 2. And into the top turn, we've got Jeff Alderson spun up there, and Ray Tilsley in 85 dives for the inside line and goes through to the lead. 85 Ray Tilsley leads heat 1 of the British Championship. 151 Gary Maynard trying to come back. 507 Neil Smith is on the infield. 85 looks to have gone away though. Passing the back marker, 382 Paul Pennington pulls to the infield as well. And Ray Tilsley looks good, 341 spins out again on that top turn. And 85 Ray Tilsley leads it. 151 Gary Maynard is second, Phil Smith third in 109, fourth James Bean in 309, fifth is Peter Paulding 33, sixth Bert Finnegan in 55, seventh is Paul Harrison number 2, eighth is Rob Cowley in car number 73, Paul Lowe's running ninth in 410, and 10th is Shane Darl in car number 371. Another lap goes by, and 85 Ray Tilsley has it. It's halfway, Mr. Starner, halfway. We're coming up on the halfway stage, and Ray Tilsley in car number 85. has the lead in Heat 1. Still 151 is second and 109 third. 33 has got up for fourth ahead of 309. Then it's Bert Finnegan in 55. Paul Harrison making good ground after his early problems in car number 2. But another lap goes by and still 85. Ray Tosley. It's 5, Mr. Starter 5, right now, sorry about that. Ray Tosley in 85 with 5 to run. 109, Phil Smith second. Third is Peter Pauling in 33. Fourth is 309, James Bean. What has happened to Gary Maynard in car number 151? I don't see him. 85 is leading. Pressure now from Peter Paulding in 33. James Bean in 309. Paul Harrison in number 2. Closing stages of Heat 1 of the British Championship for 1991. Formula 1 stock cars. 3 laps to run this time for the race leader. It's still Ray Tosley, former world champion in car number 85. Peter Paulding goes second in 33. Phil Smith drops back to third in car number 109. 405, Alan Scullen goes into a spin on the top turn. There's just 2 to run and Ray Tosley looking good for the victory. 85 has it. 33 second. Number 2 is third. 109 is fourth. Then it's 55 and 309. Gary Maynard's back in the running, but he's lost ground in car number 151. Rob Cowley's next in 73. Danny Clark going through in 203. 113 Russ Humphrey. And 85 Ray Tosley starts his final circuit. Up the back straight for the final time. The final turn and the final lap. 85 Ray Tosley will win Heat 1 of the British Championship. 85 is first. Peter Paulding will be second in 33. From Paul Harrison in number 2. Phil Smith in 109. Bert Finnegan in 55. James Bean in 309. Rob Cowley in 73. Russ Humphrey in 113. Okay, Mr. Stardown, Lewis will have a red one, please. Red flag goes out to end the first race of the day. Okay, all is well. Rolling lap continues. There's the green flag. And down here on the home straight, can we have everybody back behind the barriers, please? Back behind that wall on the home straight, please. 133 Anthony Flanagan's the first one to come to grief in heat number 2. And 327 Howard Davis is the early leader. Steve Burgess in 389 putting the pressure on and going through. Tracked by Shane Doyle in 371 and Warren Hunter in 22. 515 Frankie Wayman Jr. getting pushed around by Neil Brigg in 87. 422 Nigel Walton towards the rear at the moment. Now 327 Howard Davis has come to rest up against the fence on the top turn. Coming through to complete lap number 2. And Steve Burgess in 389. Already 501 Chris Elwell has gone second. Third is Phil Smith in 109. Fourth already Dave Beresford in 260. 501 Chris Elwell through to the lead. 389 Steve Burgess pushed wide and hard into the fence up there. 45 Alan Scudder's gone into a spin on that top turn as well. It was 109 Phil Smith who put the bumper in on the 389 car. He's gone through to take the second place. And another lap goes by and 501 Chris Elwell has it from Phil Smith in 109. Dave Beresford in 260. John Long fourth in car number 53 and fifth Andy Hodgson 272. Then it's Steve Burgess hanging on in there in car number 389. 45 Alan Scullin to the infield. 327 Howard Davis to the infield. But 501 Chris Elwell looks to be in control of heat number 2 at the moment. 109 Phil Smith running second. 260 Dave Beresford's coming through quickly for third. Andy Hodgson's go fourth in car number 272 ahead of John Lund in car number 53. Couple of back markers in the way of the 272 car. There's Warren Hunter in 22 and 97 Murray Harrison from Steve Burgess in 389 and Neil Brigg in 87. But 501 Chris Elwell is working his way through those back markers. It's halfway, Mr. Starter, halfway. We're coming up on the halfway stage. And Chris Elwell in 501, 260 Dave Beresford is close second now. Nigel Wharton's a lap down in car number 422 and third is Phil Smith in 109. Andy Hodgson still fourth in 272, but 53 John Lund is climbing all over the back of the car. 97 Murray Harrison is next, and it's Warren Hunter in 22. Then there's a gap to Derek Fairhurst in 218 and Frankie Lehman Jr. in 515, David Tulson in 86 and Neil Brigg in 87. The 1-2 are right together. 501 Chris Elwell. 260 Dave Beresford, up the far side they go. Beresford gets the bumper in. Edges the 501 car wide, goes for the inside line and gets there. Dave Beresford in 260 takes it up. It's 5, next time Mr. Starter 5. And 97 Murray Harrison's lost ground on that bottom turn and 260 Dave Beresford has gone through to lap him. 501 second. Third is Phil Smith in 109. Fourth is John Lund 53. Fifth is 272 Andy Hodgson. 6th Warren Hunter 22. 7th Derek Fairhurst 218. 8th Frankie Jr. in 515. 9th is 86 David Tulson. And 10th is Neil Brigg in 87. That's the way they look at the moment. 260 Dave Beresford though has pulled out an advantage over 501 Chris Elwell. Beresford tarmac car going very, very nicely. This will get his hopes up for the 1991 British Championship later on in the afternoon as he removes 87 Neil Brigg from his trail. And goes through to complete another one. 260 Dave Beresford from 501 Chris Elwell. Phil Smith third in 109. John Lund is coasting fourth in 53. Then it's Andy Hodgson 272. Everybody else is at least a lap adrift. And it's the last lap for the race leader. Up the far side goes Dave Beresford in 260. There's a clear track in front of him. Here he comes round the final turn to the checkered flag. 260 Dave Beresford wins Heat 2 Formula 1. Once again, Mr. Starter, we need to keep them going. Chris Elwell is second in 501. Third, Phil Smith in 109. Fourth, Andy Hodgson, 272. John Lund gets home fifth in 53. Derek Fairhurst in 218. 87, Neil Brigg. And we'll have a red one, please, Mr. Starter. At that, a red one, please. Flag goes down. Now 369 Bill McGowan leads them away into lap number 1. Another short, sharp downpour has made it very, very wet and horrible again. And Jeff Alderson in 486 has come to grief. John Lund in 53 has got caught up with Paul Marler in 183. And Russ Humphrey in 113. They're all still sorting themselves out on that top turn. The 53 car can't get away, gets spun broadside. 113 Russ Humphrey escapes. And 389 Steve Burgess is leading from Gary Maynard in 151. 22 Warren Hunter over the infield and gets in the way of the 53 car again. They're slowly getting sorted. I think the 22 car could be stuck on the track marker tyres. His race could be running heat number 3. And Gary Maynard through to the lead in 151 from Steve Burgess, 389. Then it's Derek Fairhurst, 218. Paul Harrison, number 2, 309. Jane Bean and 85, Ray Tilsley. But Gary Maynard in 151, making the early running in heat number 3 from 389 Steve Burgess. 369 Bill McGowan's on the infield. And Peter Faulding in 33 goes into a spin on the top turn and loses ground as Ian Baggett 538 joins in. Mark Broadley in 443 has gone in there as well but got away. The 33 car has escaped but lost lots of ground. And he's got the race leader right behind him. 151 then from 389, number 2. That's the 1, 2, 3. Ray Tilsley's 4th in 85. Jane Bean in 309. Danny Clark 203. Then it's Rob Cowley in 73. Neil Brigg in 87 moving up with Nigel Wharton in 422. Then it's Russ Humphrey in 113. Paul Marler in 183 goes through. And 151, Gary Maynard is still leading. 87 Neil Brigg getting a bumper in on 538 Ian Baggett round that top turn. He's under pressure himself from Nigel Wharton in 422 and Paul Lowe in 410 coasts to the centre. Number 2, Paul Harrison has taken up the running. Didn't see what happened to the 1-2. Once again, Gary Maynard has gone missing in 151. We're coming up on halfway, Mr. Starter. And Paul Harrison in number 2. Leads. From Gary Maynard now second in 151. Paul Harrison's pulled out a good lead in car number 2. 151 is second. Derek Fairhurst is third in car number 218. Then it's Ray Tilsley 4th in 85. 5th Jane Bean in 309. 6th is Danny Clark in 203. 7th is Rob Cowley in 73. Now Steve Burgess hanging on in there 8th in 389. From Neil Brigg in 87 and Rob Brassel 265. 33 Peter Faulding pulls to the infield. And it's 5, next time, Mr. Starter, 5 for Paul Harrison in number 2. Derek Fairhurst is second in 218. Ray Tilsley third in 85. Gary Maynard has dropped back to 4th and he's been having that place taken from him by Jane Bean in 309. Stages then of heat number 3 and Paul Harrison in car number 2 is clear of Derek Fairhurst 218, Ray Tilsley 85, Jane Bean in 309, Then it's Gary Maynard in 151, Rob Cowley 73, Neil Brigg in 87, Danny Clark in 203 and Russ Humphrey 113. There's the race leader starting his last lap. Steve Burgess coasts onto the centre right at the end. Here comes Paul Harrison round the final turn. There's the checkered flag for him. Paul Harrison wins Heat 3 of the British Championship in car number 2. Second is Derek Fairhurst, 218. Third is Ray Tilsley in 85. Problems for Gary Maynard right at the desk as he goes out. 309. Shane Bean goes through from Rob Cowley in 73. Neil Brigg in 87, Russ Humphrey in 113. Danny Clark in 203. Gary Maynard in 151. And 422 Nigel Walton. Okay, Mr. Stoddard, I'll do as we can have a red one, please. So, good form from Paul Harrison in car number 2. Flag down, we're under racing conditions in the 1991 British Championship. Heat number 4. And 113 Anthony Flanagan leads them away. 86 David Toulson has lost his position. He's dropped right to the rear of the grid. 55 Burt Finnegan, the world champion, a little bit slowly into his stride. They're sorting themselves out around the first circuit, coming through to complete lap number 1. And Anthony Flanagan in 133 has it. From Howard Davis 327. Then it's Will Yarrow in 22. Shane Dorrell in 371. Andy Hodgson's leading the red top charge, putting on the pressure behind 109 Phil Smith. 260 Dave Beresford's right in line behind him. Rob Cowley goes through in car number 73, trapped by Danny Clark in 203 and Peter Paulding in 33. Still 55 Burt Finnegan having difficulty getting to grips with things. And 327 Howard Davis is a new race leader. From Anthony Flanagan in 133. Then it's Murray Harrison 97, Phil Smith 109, Dave Beresford 260 and Andy Hodgson 272. Race leader going a little bit wide on that top turn, but hanging on to his advantage. 327, 109, Phil Smith has eased up to second. 260, Dave Beresford is looking good as well. 272, Andy Hodgson is next. 260, Dave Beresford moving up, but 109, Phil Smith's got away. 86, Dave Toulson pulls to the infield. And coming round to complete another lap, 109, Phil Smith is about to give way, I think, to Dave Beresford in 260, Andy Hodgson in 272. Then it's 97 Murray Harrison, Russ Humphrey in 113 and Andy Hodgson in car number 272 is next. We'll make that Rob Cowley in 73. Change of race leader, 260 Dave Beresford. William Yarrow in car number 22 has gone out over on the far side. And 203 Danny Clark pulls off over there as well. Dave Beresford comes round to complete another lap, 7 laps down. It's halfway next time, Mr. Starter, halfway. And 260 Dave Beresford has a good lead. And looking in good form for the British Championship. 260 leads from 272 Andy Hodgson second. Third is Phil Smith in 109. Fourth Murray Harrison 97. Fifth Russ Humphrey 113. Then it's Peter Paulding in 33. Rob Cowley in 73. Shane Dorrell in 371. We'll make that Howard Davis in 327. 2:55, Bert Finnegan off the pace in his final qualifying heat. And as 2:60, Dave Beresford comes round, that is 10 down, 5 next time, Mr. Starter 5. Andy Hodgson second in 2:72. Phil Smith is third in car number 109. Fourth is Murray Harrison, 97. Fifth is Peter Paulding, 33. Rob Cowley, 6 in 73. Alan Scudder pulls to the infield and just makes it in car number 45 as 109 Phil Smith goes by. And 272. 109 third. Murray Harrison 97 coming under heavy pressure from Peter Paulding in 33. Then it's Rob Cowley in 73. Russ Humphrey in 113. Frankie Wayman Jr. is coming into the picture in car number 515. And then it's Howard Davis in 327 with Bert Finnegan in 55. For Dave Beresford, it looks like it's going to be two heat wins out of 2 with 1 still to come. Here he comes with 2 to run. Laps the world champion Bert Finnegan in 55. 272 Andy Hodgson looks safe in second. 109 Phil Smith third. Up to 4th comes Peter Paulding in 33. 5th Murray Harrison 97. 6th Rob Cowley 73. 7th Russ Humphrey in 113. Frankie Wayman Jr. is 8th in car number 515. Race leader starts his last lap. 9th is Bert Finnegan in 55 and 10th is Howard Davis in 327. But Dave Beresford goes up the far side once again. Around the final turn. There's the checker flag again. 260 Dave Beresford wins heat 4. 272 Andy Hodgson second. Phil Smith third in 109. 4th Peter Paulding 33. 5th Rob Cowley 73. 6th Murray Harrison in 97. Russ Humphrey 7th in 113. Frank Wayman Jr. 8th in 515. Bert Finnegan will get home 9th in car number 55. Howard Davis 10th in 327. Those places to be confirmed. Okay, Mr. Sarden, that'll do us. We can have a red flag, please, to end heat number 4. And another impressive victory in the British Championship qualifying heat for Dave Beresford, car number 260. I know that I'm a prisoner to all my father helped me. I know that I'm a... On the racing conditions then in heat number 5. Anthony Flanagan in 133 goes wide and comes back across the track. 369 Bill McGowan has spun out down on that pitch turn. 389 Steve Burgess takes to the infield. 327 Howard Davis trying to force a way through. End of lap number 1. And Anthony Flanagan in 133. From Mark Broadley in 443. Paul Lowe in 410. The Reds move through. 486 Jeff Alderson's dropped to the rear of the field, and Paul Harrison in number 2 is leading the red top charge. But 501 Chris Elwell's got away as number 2 gets caught up with a 369 car. 85 Ray Tosley is next in line. 272 Andy Hodgson has taken 260 Dave Beresford across the infield. And I don't think Bez is going to make it 3 out of 3 now. And in fact it looks like he's picked up a flat on the outside back. 260 Dave Beresford's race is run in heat number 5. Flanagan in 133 from Derek Fairhurst 218. Paul Lowe in 410. Chris Elwell in 501. Change of race leader into that top turn. Derek Fairhurst squeezes through on the inside line in car number 218 from Chris Elwell 501. There's 133 and number 2. 410 and 389 with 85. 422 is next in line. Jeff Alderson spins to the fence again on that top turn. And Chris Elwell takes up the running. 5:01, Chris Elwell. 1:51, Gary Maynard has spun on the bottom turn and he's lost lots and lots of ground. 2:65, Rob Bradsell was involved and he's gone pulled onto the infield. Looks like Ray Tilsley in 85 has got caught up with Paul Lowe in 410 on that top turn. 1:51, Gary Maynard limps off. And Chris Elwell, 5:01, with number 2, Paul Harrison, closing in. Then it's Derek Fairhurst, 2:18. Nigel Walton, 4:22. Frankie Raymond Jr., 5:15. Anthony Flanagan in 1:33. Then it's John London, 53. Murray Harrison, 97. James Bean in 3:09. And Neil Brigg in 87. Ray Tilsley hasn't moved from where he got stuck up on that top turn. And still Chris Elwell in 5:01. Paul Harrison, and as they come round this time, that is 10 down, it's 5. Next time is to start at 5. Paul Harrison in number 2 closes up then, into the top turn they go. Not quite close enough round that turn, but he's right with him now. Through to complete another lap, there's 5 to run and Chris Elwell in 5:01 from number 2, Paul Harrison. 5:01 car gets away again, round that fifth turn. And is still making his way well through the back markers, and number 2, Paul Harrison, not quite able to challenge. 5:01, number 2 is second. Third is Derek Fairhurst in 2:18. Once again the battle for the lead. 5:01 and number 2, up the far side. Number 2 gets a nudging, gets to the inside, does he? Yes, he does. Paul Harrison in number 2 alongside, but 5:01, Chris Elwell quicker out of the corner. But number 2 gets away. 5:01 isn't done yet. Up the back straight. Back markers are looming in front of them. There's 2 laps to go for the leaders. Paul Harrison, number 2, Chris Elwell, 5:01. That's the 1-2. Jeff Alderson in 4:86 is on the infield. In 4:22 goes through with 2:18 Derek Fairhurst and Frankie Raymond Jr. in 5:15. But here's Paul Harrison starting his last lap. And he will get to the checkered flag first. Number 2, Paul Harrison, wins heat 5. 5:01, Chris Elwell is second. Third place to Nigel Walton in 4:22. Fourth, Frankie Raymond Jr. 5:15. Fifth, Derek Fairhurst in 2:18. John Long will be 6 in 53. From Neil Brigg in 87 and Murray Harrison in 97. Anthony Flanagan in 1:33 and James Bean in 3:09. Okay, Mr. Star, I think that will do us. For the 1991 British Championship, there are 19 cars on circuit. Number 2, Paul Harrison on inside pole position, leading them round at a steady pace with Phil Smith 1:09. 2:60 Dave Beresford, got to start one of the favourites here with 2:18 Derek Fairhurst. And then it's 85 Ray Tilsley and 5:01 Chris Elwell. The 1991 Formula One Stock Car British Championship final over 30 laps. There's the green flag. We're racing in the 1991 British Championship final. And number 2, Paul Harrison, makes a fast start, and 260 Dave Beresford through as well, trapped by Ray Tilsley in 85. Everybody is away into the first circuit, bar Danny Clark in 203, who pulls to the infield. Down the far side, number 2, Paul Harrison, 85, Ray Tilsley goes second, 260 Dave Beresford comes rattling straight back in. 501 Chris Elwell gets the bumper in, 33 Peter Fawlings moving up from 272 Andy Hudson, and then it's Jane Bean in 309. 515 Frankie Wayman Jr. having difficulty keeping things under control. And number 2, Paul Harrison leads from 85 Ray Tilsley. 501 Chris Elwell. 33 Peter Fawlings. Dave Beresford lost his place in car number 260. Then it's Andy Hudson 272. 309 Jane Bean. 53 John Lund. 422 Nigel Wharton and 87 Neil Brigg. 53 John Lund putting the pressure on and moving ahead of Jane Bean in 309. Rider complete on a lap, Paul Harrison in number 2. Ray Tilsley 85, 501 Chris Elwell. Danny Clark in 203 has rejoined, but he's missed at least 4 laps. Okay, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, 3 laps. He pulls off again. And Paul Harrison in number 2, 85, 501. Rollins for Jane Bean in 309 as she gets squeezed out to the fence, and 55 Bert Finnegan tries to get through on the inside, but she makes it difficult for him. 55 car through now, and number 2 away. 85 second, 33 is third, 501 fourth, and 260 fifth. 53 is sixth. The track beginning to dry out, and the car starting to lap much quicker. Number 2 and 85, that's still the 1-2. Problems for Andy Hudson in 272. He was running in a place, but he's got spun out of contention on the top turn. 55, Bert Finnegan lost ground as he went round the outside, and 309 Jane Bean went through. The race leader held up as well slightly, but he gets away. Paul Harrison in number 2, Ray Tilsley 85. Peter Fawlings in 33, Dave Beresford in 260. Ahead now, Chris Elwell in 501. Paul Harrison is leading in number 2, but this changes amongst the minor placings. 272 Andy Hudson gets the car out of the way. Leaves a bit more room for the rest of them to go through. 97 Murray Harrison pulls to the infield. His race is run in the Formula One British Championship final. 272 Andy Hudson rejoins, but he's well down now. In amongst the lap markers then. Number 2, Paul Harrison. 85 Ray Tilsley. 33 Peter Fawlings and 260 Dave Beresford. Still the race leader making his way through those lower place cars. 109 Phil Smith, who started on the front row alongside Paul Harrison, is now being lapped by that race leader. Number 2 Paul Harrison, 85 Ray Tilsley, up the far side they go. 260 Dave Beresford comes back for third again, ahead of Peter Fawlings in car number 33. Rob Cowley's coming into the picture in 73. Then it's Russ Humphrey in 113. John Lund in 53. Nigel Wharton 422 and Chris Elwell dropping back in 501. Coming up on halfway, Mr. Starter. It's halfway next time for Paul Harrison in number 2. who still leads from Ray Tilsley in 85. These two are clear now. Peter Faulding got back for third in car number 33, ahead of Dave Beresford in 260. They're having a right old battle for that third place. Then it could be Nigel Wharton in 422 with John Lund in 53. Rob Cowley in 73. Chris Elwell in 501. And Frankie Jr. in 515. But still Paul Harrison making his way through the back markers in good style. He's got a little bit of a clear track in front of him at the moment. 85 Ray Tilsley still holding station second. Dave Beresford's got away third now, ahead of Peter Faulding in car number 33. Nigel Wharton in 422 goes through ahead of John Lund in 53. Roberts for Ray Tilsley in 85 as he gets caught up with the back marker. And 113 Russ Humphrey pulls to the infield. 55 Bert Finnegan has pulled out as well. Paul Harrison through to complete another one. It's number 2 from 85. 260 third and beginning to put on the pressure. Peter Faulding third in 34th in 33. Then it's Nigel Wharton 422 and John Lund in 53. 501 Chris Elwell. 515 Frankie Jr. and 73 Rob Cowley. Faulding completes another circuit. Or rather, Paul Harrison completes another circuit. Car number 2 is still well to the fore and is increasing his advantage. It's the length of the straight now, call it quarter of a lap. 85 Ray Tilsley is still second. 260 Dave Beresford is probably another quarter of a lap back third. Then it's Nigel Wharton coming on well in these later stages in 422 from John Lund in 53. Peter Faulding in 33 pulls to the infield with a flat. 515 Frankie Jr. is in a lower place just ahead of Chris Elwell in 501. Paul Harrison in number 2 comes through this time. That's 24 down, it's 5. Next time, Mr. Starter, it's 5. For Paul Harrison in number 2. Leading the British Championship final towards its closing stages, coming round with 5 to run, Mr. Starter. Here he comes. There's the 5-lap board, and number 2 has it. 85 is behind the trail of back markers in second. 73 Rob Cowley's on the centre with a flat. Third, Dave Beresford still in car number 260, but Nigel Wharton's closing in fourth in 422. He's been off form throughout the afternoon, but he's certainly getting it together now as the track dries. Fifth is 53, John Lund. And sixth is Frankie Raymond Jr. in car number 515. And he's got the race leader right on his tail. For any heroics now for Paul Harrison in number 2. He's still well clear. Gets past the Frankie Raymond Jr. car. There's a whole spread of empty track in front of him. Here's the last lap board. Paul Harrison in number 2 starts his final circuit. Ray Tilsley in 85 is going to have to settle for second. Nigel Wharton is still moving up past third. Then it's Dave Beresford in 260. Paul Harrison into the final turn of the British Championship final. There's the checkered flag for him. Number 2, Paul Harrison wins the British Championship. Ray Tilsley second in 85. From 422, Nigel Wharton. 260, Dave Beresford. Then it's John Lund in 53. And we still need to keep them going, Mr. Starter. Frankie Raymond Jr. will be next home in 515 from Chris Elwell in 501. Neil Brigg in 87. Jane Bean in 309. And Andy Hodgson 272. Okay, Mr. Starter, I think that will do as we can have a red flag to end the Formula One British Championship for 1991. And it's a start to finish victor for the best scorer in the heats. He won 2 heats as well. Paul Harrison in car number 2 is a 1991 British champion. So was it where you used to have my embarrassing moments? Well, I've just had mine. We were over there doing the draw, trying to get things organised in this usual wonderful style that we have. And who missed, very similar cars. I could be forgiven to a degree, but who mistook Danny Clark for James? Away they go through the first circuit. Early leader is Anthony Flanagan in car number 133 from 410, 422, and Jane Bean in 309. 369, Bill McGowan gets shuffled fencewards. And the 2 white tops go hard into the fence. Shane Donnelly 371 takes 85, Ray Tilsley out with him. And Nigel Wharton leads in 422. From Jane Bean in 309, Dave Beresford 260, and the new British champion, Paul Harrison in number 2. Nigel Wharton then, car number 422 up the far side. Paul Harrison's gone second in number 2. Bill McGowan's gone out in car number 369. All the white tops are parked up. Jane Bean in 309 ahead of John London 53. And 422, Nigel Wharton goes through with 5 next time, Mr. Starter. 5. It's 5 to run, Mr. Starter. 5 laps down, 5 to go in the Buxton Gold Cup. 422 Nigel Wharton from number 2 Paul Harrison. 260 Dave Beresford. 53 John Lunt. 33 Peter Balding. 272 Andy Hodgson. Jane Bean in 309. Danny Clark in 203. With Ray Tilsley lap by the leaders in 85. And Shane Doyle at the back in 371. The 85 car pulls to the infield. Less than 2 laps then. Nigel Wharton in 422. Looks like the winner in the Buxton Gold Cup. Here he's through to start his final circuit. Paul Harrison probably going to have to settle for second this time. Dave Beresford third in 260. John Long fourth in 53. Peter Balding fifth in 33. And Andy Hodgson sixth in car number 272. Jane Bean in 309 and Danny Clark in 203. There's Nigel Wharton through to the checkered flag in car number 422, winning the Buxton Gold Cup from Paul Harrison in number 2. Dave Beresford in 260. John London 53. Peter Balding 33. Andy Hodgson 272. Mr. Starter, could we have a word, please? Despite the inclement conditions, we hope you've enjoyed the Formula One British Championship and the Formula 2 stock cars here at the Hayes Raceway this afternoon. Don't forget, it's the Northern and Midland Championship for stock rods next week, along with bangers and bombers.